Ahoy! Captain Benzie here, coming at you with something completely different today. Now, rather than showcasing a new unit in Command & Conquer Rivals, or talking about patch notes, or looking at one of the weapons in Armajet, or trying to showcase a completely new game to you guys, what I wanted to do today is ultimately just to break down how I actually make all of this happen. Because some of you know, some of you may not know, everything that you see on this channel is done 100% using my Razer phone. So for all of you who sit there and say, oh, I'd love to do YouTube content, but I just don't think I have the setup for it, I don't think I have, like, the tech, I'm literally doing this on a cell phone. And here's how. So before we jump into this too far, it is absolutely vital that I mention right now that there is no sponsorship in this at all. I am not sponsored by Razer as much as I would love to be. I'm not sponsored by any of the programs or apps that you're going to see mentioned through. These are genuinely the apps that I personally picked, and I will discuss the reasons for those particular picks. So the first one that I wanted to sort of discuss is obviously how to get the stuff off your screen and into a recording. And that here is Mobizen. Obviously when I'm doing a Command & Conquer Rivals Intel report or an Armajet loadout, I need to capture footage of the game. This little app is what I am currently recording on now. This is literally what I'm using to record what you're seeing and what you're hearing now. It is completely free. You can pay to upgrade it, but the free version, ultimately, all you're paying to remove is a couple of ads here and there. I do pay just because I'm one of those people who I believe that if I'm using something and enjoying it, I should pay for it. I'm happy to do that, but the free version does not include watermarks or any limitations. As far as I'm aware, I used to use the free version for the longest time. So this is what I use to use Mobizen. Ultimately, you just need to go into a couple of the settings for it, which unfortunately I can't show, because as you can see, I am currently screen recording. But you go in there, you make it so that you hide the icon while you're recording, you can set up the face cam like you've seen me use before, and ultimately you just literally, it overlays over, you tap it to start it, and when you're done, you scroll down from the top and there it is, to stop. Now, I know that some of you guys do play on iOS devices. As far as I'm aware, the more recent versions of the iOS software do indeed have a built-in screen recorder. You can just Google how to find that screen recorder and then go from there. Ultimately, I do apologise. I use Android. I've got nothing against iOS, but most of this video is, of course, going to cover what I know. So, using Mobizen, you can grab your footage. Once you've got the footage, though, what do you do with it? Well, that's where this little app comes in. For me, I use KinoMaster, and we're going to have a proper look at this in just a moment. But again, it is completely free to start with, although, again, I do pay for the premium version. This time around, I've always run the premium version because you do really kind of need it for proper sort of quality, and I'll cover all of that in just a second. But again, I just wanted to show it, have it on screen here with the actually spelled out KinoMaster. So download those two, and those are what I'm using. Now I'm going to jump across to a couple of other apps finally now, just to showcase you. The final one that I use is, of course, when I'm doing a lot of this, I need to make notes, and I have a script. That's what Jotapad is for me. This app, it's a very basic, straightforward text editor. All I'm doing here is I type it out on this because it syncs to Google Cloud, and it's a nice way for me to save it. I then have that script open on screen. I'm going to jump across now and literally show you this. So here we are now in Jotapad, and we are ultimately looking at the script for the artillery intel report, if you remember that particular one. So literally what I do is I type out everything. Everything here is typed out. That is my full script. I double check everything. You know, I do a quick live read with myself. I just sit and read it out loud and see if it all reads okay and sounds okay, until I'm happy with how that script is. Then, using Mobizen, I record myself reading that script. Now, I've always been very careful not to just read the script. I mean, I can sit here and go just like, let's see if I can find one. As with the MLRS and Giga Cannon, artillery are also helpless against aircraft. Banshees, Mohawks, and the like will cause your artillery a world of pain if not supported with... It's boring and it's dull. If you're going to be doing content, put some emphasis into things. Get excited. I'll also often come off script. There are whole sentences, paragraphs. I switch the words around, all things that are just not in the script. You know, as with the MLRS and Giga Cannon, artillery are also completely helpless against aircraft. Banshees, Mohawks, and other flying nightmares will cause your artillery a world of pain if not supported with anti-aircraft units. Stuff like that. Ultimately, you know, I don't stick to this too religiously. But yeah, that's how I script it. I then use Mobizen to record that sound file, and I'm going to jump now into KinoMaster to show you ultimately, in a basic sort of step-by-step, how a video goes from these apps and concepts and little bits of footage into an actual final product. So this is KinoMaster. Now, if you follow my channel closely, you may recognise a lot of these different videos on here. For example, let's jump into maybe not into that one, because that could be something I don't want you to see. Let's have a look. We'll go a little bit further down. There we are, 11 media files missing, but you can see this was one of my Intel reports. There's my usual intro. The bits that are greyed out there are the different graphics, and you can see that there's a lot going on here with different like insets and your little transitions like that. Obviously, I've deleted all of the footage I used for this Shatterer video, so you can't see that anymore, but you can still see like the screenshots and the image artwork. Now, so to showcase how this actually works from scratch, ultimately, if I jump in here, this one in the top left, that is literally what you have just watched. That's the bit where I'm talking about, like, the artillery script. If I go back a bit further, there's Jotapad and KinoMaster and Mobizen. So that is literally the raw file of what you have just watched. Obviously, I'm going to edit that little bit to put into this final video, as you're seeing on screen now. So this is all getting a little bit meta. But if that's just the script there for, say, an Intel report or one of my loadout lowdowns, it's a script, and I don't want all of this on screen. It's simple. All I need to do here is go down to extract audio. It does sometimes crash here, so let's... So with the audio extracted, you've got an audio file down here as well. I can change the volume on that, I can change audio volume envelopes, I can trim it, I can fade it, I can do all kinds of stuff with that. Same with here in the main actual graphics itself. I can cut that, I can apply all kinds of clip graphics, and it's stuff like this that is ultimately why I pay for KinoMaster. If you have the KinoMaster free version, there is a small watermark that goes in the top right of your video. I think you can actually move the watermark around, but either way, it's fairly unobtrusive compared to some of the other editing software out there on Android. For me, though, I pay for the premium because things like, as I said here, if I go into clip graphics, I've got all of these different things, and some of these are incredible. I mean, I'm sure you've seen me use this one in a couple of my Armajet loadout lowdowns, where it's like a heads-up display that loads in with the graphics. I've got all kinds of stuff in different videos that comes ultimately from this. Again, if I go into like the layers, some of my overlays, things like that splash effect, that's one that you have to pay for, or, you know, you only have it if you're a premium user, that kind of thing. It's not overly expensive, it's a couple of dollars a month, and ultimately that's why I have a Patreon set up, and that's why I have ads on the video, because it helps me to pay for this and keeps the content going. So, with the audio file there, I can then start doing all kinds of stuff. So if this was an actual artillery intel report, if I scroll down to assets, I can load up the intel report intro there. You can see that that's literally the Intel Report intro document. Also under assets, I should have, there it is, yep, my little intro graphic there, and I can add in all kinds of stuff here. So I'm not going to take this too seriously. Let's just pick one off the top of my ugly face staring back at me. WhatsApp images, because yeah, we saw some painted dog recently here in Zimbabwe. So let's put that in. And you can move that image around and do all kinds of stuff with it. If you ever wondered how I do my pan effects, you're seeing that there. It's like when I get a new unit and I do the whole graphic thing, just play it like that, dead simple. In here, again, you can add in all these different kind of overlays and stuff. Some of these are the free ones, some are, again, you have to either be using the premium version for, so like my little no signal found one, and some cool, like, quite, where is it, the Dracula Rising, some quite sort of horror-themed ones, the All Hallows glitch, I love some of these. They're just great little effects that you can play with, and these, as I said, you do pay for them. Well, you pay a subscription to Mobizen to have the ability, but even then for the basics, things like your standard crossfade, your fun transitions, I hate circle wipes and stuff like that with a burning passion. The text transitions are all in there as well, like you've seen at the beginning of an Intel report, I have that bit. Just stuff like that, and I ultimately just play around with this. You can put in your different layers, I can have things going over the top. So for example, let's open that up there. I can have this, I can have that fade in, and I can have it slide up. As its outrow, I can extend or shorten the duration of that. I can actually even crop the image itself so that you only see that bit of it. You know, this is a really, for me, this is a phone app, for crying out loud. And there is so much you can just do with this, so many things you can just play around with and move that to different places. It's, to me, it's powerful enough. And for a phone app, it's incredible. And this what you're seeing now is how I do my content. I sit there and I pick it apart and I add these effects and I move things around. I mean, looking at a recent one that should have some effects and should still be around. Let's have a look. Is this one of the Armajet lowdowns? The Badger one, possibly? Nope. This is going to be a problem because I recently did a big sort of delete through. Let's come back to one of those Intel reports. There we go. Yeah, there we are. So you see here, this is the scavenger Intel report. So I've got that. My voiceover is down there. I have the background music that you've heard playing in the videos. I use a little overlay. You can see there we have the video. And then when I reach this transition here, I've got a fade through that goes through to that Keanu Reeves sequence, and then fades back in with, again, there's the text, there's my, that's my voiceover, with all the animations here. And if I scroll to those, ooh, hello. If I scroll to those and just zoom in, because I've just massively zoomed in, there we are, you can see there. That's what I was trying to show. So here in the bottom right screen, you can see that this first little yellow box there is text, which zooms in, and then these other effects just come in one at a time over the video. Just like that, everything slowly fading into position, sliding out, and then at the end, it all fades away. There's my transition, my text transition, through to the nod scavengers, which you can see there, I start it off zoomed right in, and I finish off zoomed right out. So that it does that slow zoom out, and then into what would be the footage. As I said, I have deleted most of the footage, but you can see the things sliding in, all the overlays and that. But there we have it, ultimately. I'm aware I'm starting to ramble on, but I just wanted to give you guys a basic understanding of how I do my content, of what is actually, you know, how this works, what each video, what it takes to make each video. Ultimately, every video I do takes between, not including recording the footage, the actual recording the voiceover, so not including the footage and script, the actual editing section, probably takes me anywhere from 2 to 6 hours, depending on the individual video and all the different parts. Now, I go fairly in depth on that, and I play around with a lot of different options. Some of those go a little bit faster nowadays as I'm sort of getting templates in position, but for things like my patch note videos, those take 2 minutes. 2 minutes once I've got the basic voiceover and all of that done. I just literally cut the footage in, and add a couple of graphics and flashy bits around it just to thank you all and remind you about my Patreon and Discord server, that kind of thing. But there we go. I know a couple of people have doubted that I do this all on the phone. People, you know, think that, no, you can't be a YouTuber without top-end equipment. Yes, okay, I'm on a Razer Phone 2. I'm not gonna lie, I'm on a Razer Phone 2. But you can do this with lower spec phones than this. Obviously I know some people are going to be running things like Samsung Galaxy S7s. I'm pretty sure you can still run it quite comfortably on that. The only difference you're going to have there is that when it comes to exporting, it says to export anyway, when it comes to export anyway, you're going to have a longer time to actually export, just because of the rendering process. But there we go. That is how I make my videos. I really, really hope I can inspire some of you guys to make some videos too. This is, mobile gaming is the future. Mobile devices are the future. I pride myself that my channel, with the exception of a couple of bits of footage, the Sekiro video, the Unreal Tournament video, and the Quake video, some of the footage there obviously comes from PC and PS4. But even then, the editing, the voiceover, everything there is still done on a phone. I consider myself to be a mobile gaming YouTuber, so for me, it's a nice little niche that not only am I talking about mobile gaming, but I'm doing so in a format that is made using entirely mobile as well. But hopefully, as I said, I have inspired you guys to give this a go yourself. I really, really hope I have. I would love, dearly love, to see you guys try some of this as well. If you do download these and give it a go, let me know. I will come across to your channel, I will like your videos, I will watch it. If you want me to give feedback, I will more than happily do so. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, people, happy sailing and good luck creating some content.